You don't actually have love blocks and money blocks. What you do have is a dysregulated nervous system. My name is Ma'at Petrova. Thank you for being here. I am the owner of FEMMAGIC, and we made 10 years of serving women's wombs, vaginas, with holistic feminine hygiene and care, and your mind, body, and spirit with my lives, my courses, and my events. So thank you for being here. Thank you for participating for how many years or months or however long you've been here. I appreciate you. Vag Elixir is amazing. It makes my poom poom feel safe. Oh my God, you're gonna make me cry. I've never heard it said like that before. It makes my poom poom feel safe and comforted. I've been getting friends on it. Oh, you've been putting friends on it. Oh my gosh. That is so beautiful. Okay, so this is our girl chat time and our meditation. We're going to still do our meditation at the end because meditation matters. All right. It works. It matters. But along with meditation, strategy also matters. Okay. So today I'm going to talk to you about why you don't actually have love blocks, why you don't actually have money blocks. You have a dysregulated nervous system. This nervous system constantly seeks distractions or avoidance, stimulation. It's dopamine rushes. It's because of traumas. Yes, good old trauma. And that trauma can cause you to feel like you have a love block and to feel like the money isn't coming in when the opportunity is right before your eyes. I have been on both sides of the coin, where I've been the one blocking my blessings and I've been the blesser, to where that person didn't understand that I was about to bless them with free money, actually, but they denied it because they were in their trauma. Okay, so unresolved issues, pains, challenges, and traumas inside can cause you to have a never-ending relationship of money blocks and love blocks in your life. Okay, it comes in the guise of, oh, let me give myself this self-care treat, or doom scrolling on social media, shopping, eating, ordering out all the time. It seems normal because it's socially accepted. What it really is you getting your little dopamine hits. These dopamine hits is your brain trying to protect itself from having to deal with the discomfort of the trauma. And because these things are socially accepted, it's the social norm, you feel like you're normal. But the only difference between you and a drug addict or an alcoholic is yours is functional. Your body or your brain telling you you need constant dopamine hits through the distraction of scrolling on social media, shopping, eating, is your form of coping with your inner traumas. Whether it's your childhood traumas, past issues, challenges you face that you just don't want to deal with. And let me tell you, from my personal experience of hitting $1 million with my company over and over again, there was so much money I was leaving on the table. Even in making that much money, there was still so much money I was leaving on the table, because when you have underlying traumas, a small issue can feel like salt being thrown on an open sore. Something small can seem like it's so heavy because you already are wrought with so many issues underneath that you don't want to deal with. And because you're functioning, you feel like you're okay. But that's the only difference between you and an addict, is you're functioning. When you feel like you have money blocks and love blocks, that is not actually what's happening. What's happening is that you don't want to deal with your traumas. Until you deal with your traumas, you're going to do things to avoid the issues. Avoidance is one of the key ways that our bodies and our minds protect ourselves from traumas, because traumas feel unsafe. Thinking about your past traumas, having to deal with it, the discomfort of it feels unsafe. And what is the number one thing that the body is always going to do and the mind is always going to do to keep you alive? Is to protect it. So in order to continue to feel protected and safe, you constantly need dopamine hits, constantly needing soothing, self-soothing techniques. Remember, one of the first laws is self-preservation. The body, the mind has to feel safe in order to exist. So if you have underlying traumas that you don't want to deal with, you're going to constantly seek small hits of dopamine, because the body prefers small hits of safety as opposed to going through the long-term journey of getting better. And what happens? Under the guise of feeling functional and normal, there's an earthquake erupting beneath you. When I first started hitting my first millions, right, I felt like everything was going well. You know, I have the whole team helping me. This person is handling the communication. This person is handling the customer service. This person is handling the marketing, you know, and I'm having to do my things as the boss and creating and marketing as well. But there was so much money I was leaving on the table because I just didn't want to deal with it, right? So when you have those underlying traumas, something that would be a normal challenge feels like a damn boulder on your head, and you don't want to deal with it because you already have underlying issues. Let me give you an example. If I send out an email, I can make a quick $3,000 just from sending out an email. And I've had several meetings at that time before I knew this. They were like, oh, you have an email list? I say, yeah. How many people do you have on your email list? I have about 60,000. They were like, really? And you don't use it? You're leaving money on the table. I didn't understand this because I was already making money and I didn't really, you know, I didn't want to deal with anything. So when you do not deal with your traumas, you leave money on the table. That's $3,000 each time. If I wanted to send out an email 3 times, well, without spamming, 3 times a week, that's $9,000 I'm leaving on the table a week, okay? If I was to send out 3 emails. Deal with those underlying issues, guys. What happens is you end up making decisions out of your traumas that aren't strategic, whereas your yes and your no's are no longer strategic. When you grow in your self-worth and your self-love, and you build up your boundaries, and you build up your self-trust through consistency, you no longer accept whatever is given to you. And you no longer allow people to waste your time. And you no longer accept relationships that aren't reciprocal. You don't accept that from clients, and you don't accept it in relationships. You don't accept it from customers, and you don't accept it in family relationships either. When you build up your self-trust, your self-love, and your self-worth, the small pressures can feel like a ball of stress. It's funny because you feel like you're doing well because you're making money, or you're showing up looking good, smelling good, right? Put together, not a piece of hair out of place. When in fact, behind the scenes, you're making poor decisions. You're gonna settle. You're gonna settle for less. You're gonna underprice yourself. You're going to overgive. You're going to lose money, not only through money left on the table, but also through spending unnecessary money on people and things who don't deserve your money or your energy. So my question to you is, What exactly have you been hiding from? What traumas have you been sweeping under the carpet, trying to avoid? Avoidance is one of the key methods of not dealing with your trauma. I thought I was a pretty confrontational person, not confrontational in like an aggressive, wanting to fight way, but in that I like to address issues when I see them pop up. If I see something weird or strange, I'm going to say something about it, right? Like, hey, is that meant to be that way? Or are you okay? Or is there something we need to talk about, right? Confrontational in that way. When actually I had a lot of avoidant issues. In my mind, with my identity, I thought that, I'm pretty upfront, I know how to speak up for myself. But actually, I practiced avoidance in many ways. Because I had the whole team running my $1 million business, I'm thinking I'm handling business. But in the background, I am entertaining a relationship based off of trauma bonding and making decisions, poor decisions, off of unresolved traumas. It wasn't until I finally decided I was done with this repetitious cycle of dealing with people who undervalue me. And I decided to focus on myself and my money. It wasn't until then, and when I completely relinquished wanting any connection with people, men, friends, when I completely let it all go was when I attracted healthy relationships with money and healthier relationships with men. Okay? If you have not dealt with your underlying traumas, you're going to continuously overgive. You're going to accept relationships that are not reciprocal. And you're going to continuously feel like you have love blocks and money blocks. You don't have any love blocks and money blocks. All the abundance is available to you. The healthy relationships are available to you. You just cannot see it. It's all there already. It's here. You just have the cloak of trauma preventing you from seeing the opportunities before you. There's no such thing as a money block or a love block. You don't need no magic potion. You don't need a bunch of affirmations. You don't need to smell good, dress good. None of it. It does help. It does help. Okay? It does help. But the underlying issue, because I was all of that, and yet and still I was making poor decisions. It does help, but temporarily, right? It helps temporarily. The affirmations help temporarily. The dressing nicely helps temporarily. The smelling good helps temporarily. It does. I'm going to tell you, it does help. It does. It all helps. It's all therapy. But does it last? Does it last? And is it going to allow you to make proper, long-lasting, positive decisions for yourself? If that foundation is shaky, with a bunch of trauma, trust and believe it's not. So it comes in the guise of having yourself put together. It looks normal, but it's not. It's not. This is your body and your brain's way of protecting it from something that feels unsafe. And this is where you have to differentiate between you, your core self, your brain, your body. They all have a mind of its own. But your brain can be protecting you from something that's actually good for you. Dealing with the trauma is healthy for you, but your brain is going to protect you from it because it feels unsafe. This is where you, your core self, comes in to discern between what actually is safe and what's not. Is this discomfort I'm feeling actually bad for me? Or is it me needing to go through this so I can get to the other side and get myself out of this poor decision making, allowing me to entertain men and situations that aren't healthy for me, that aren't reciprocal, where I'm undervalued, you have to be able to tell the difference. What is your body telling you? Is your body telling you something that's going to be healthy for you, long lasting? Is your mind telling you something that's going to be healthy for you for longevity? You have to know the difference, the core of you. Here's you, your mind, your body, even your poom poom. They all have brains of their own. But you, the core of you, have to be able to know the difference between these decisions your mind is making. Is it really unsafe? Is it really unsafe for you to deal with this trauma right now? Is this going to kill you, or is it going to make you better? Because your brain is going to tell you it's unsafe. Your brain is going to tell you we shouldn't deal with this right now. It doesn't feel good. I think it's unsafe. Let me continue to soothe you through these dopamine hits so we can feel safe again. You have to be able to tell the difference. Just like your body. Your body can tell you that something is safe because it feels good. But does that in fact mean that it's healthy for you? Those chips you eat, those are little dopamine hits and rush. Is it good for you? No, but it feels good. And that's the body again tricking you to believe it's safe because it feels good. You, the core of you, have to know the difference. Sometimes the body can protect you in good ways, and sometimes it can protect you against your own growth. It'll tell you, no, don't go to the gym. It's uncomfortable. Let's stay here, safe, in the comfort of doing nothing. When in fact, at the gym, when the muscles break down, it becomes what? Stronger. So you have to know the difference between what your body is telling you is safe and unsafe. What is your brain telling you that's safe and unsafe? Is it actually protecting you, or is it preventing you from evolving? Avoidance invites exploitation when you practice avoidance. Avoidance is a sign of weakness. Do you know yourself to be avoidant? Me, I, anybody? Definitely? Okay. Avoidance is a sign of weakness. When you avoid things, it's your body and your mind creating a way to stay safe. I didn't want to deal with the thing or have the conversation or raise my price. I actually was avoidant. Avoidance invites exploitation because it's a sign of weakness. And when people see that weakness, they're going to take advantage of it. That's why avoidance will keep you broke as well. Because you'll be spending money with somebody who will manipulate you. They're exploiting you. They'll manipulate you. They'll get money out of you because they see your weakness. Avoidance is a sign of weakness. In a relationship with a man, your avoidance from dealing with your traumas will also cause you to be exploited in those relationships. They see your weakness. They feel it. They sniff it out. And they're going to take advantage of it. And me not wanting to deal with my father trauma, avoidance, oh, I'm good. I'm healthy. I'm confident, I'm a confident woman. I feel good about myself. I thought I was fine. But in the relationship that I was entertaining said other. So there I was being exploited in this relationship. They saw my weakness, but I didn't, because I thought I was fine. I thought I wasn't being avoidant because I was dealing with the issue which I was having with this person in this relationship. I thought I was confronting the issue. Hey, goddess. I thought I was confronting the issue with this man by staying there because I knew myself to be a runner, a leaver, right? Instead of dealing with it, I run, I leave. So in this relationship with this manipulative narcissist, In me staying, I thought I was not being avoidant, right? So it's not that I wasn't being avoidant because I was staying and dealing with the mess and the BS. It's that I was avoiding the underlying issue. I may have seemed like I was not being avoidant with him because I was staying and sticking in there with the BS, when in fact I actually was being avoidant. What I was truly avoiding was being disguised by this relationship that I was dealing with up front, if you get what I'm saying, right? So again, staying busy, distracted, scrolling, planning, right? Healing. All of these can be signs of avoidance that looks like it's something normal and good you're doing for yourself, when in fact you're not dealing with the true issue. How many of us have been healing? I'm just dealing with me. I'm just pouring into me right now. I'm healing. When in fact you're not healing. You're not healing because you're not dealing with the actual issue. It sounds good. It sounds good that I'm healing right now. I'm just dealing with me, self-love, self-care. But you're not dealing with the actual issue you're supposedly healing from. A friend of mine said her mother, after her last relationship, she went abstinent and she's been healing. It's 10 years now. It's 10 years. And are you still healing? 10 years, you still healing? And I'm not saying a relationship is the trophy, right? But to say you're still healing 10 years later, it's not healing. It's avoidance. Sometimes self-care is not healing. It's avoidance because it sounds good. Being in a relationship and thinking you're dealing with the issues within the relationship isn't actually you not being avoidant, but what you're actually avoiding is the underlying issue, or else you wouldn't be in that unhealthy relationship in the first place. So there I was in this relationship thinking I was not being avoidant, thinking I was dealing with the issue at hand because I was sticking in there and not running. But if I was healed actually, and if I was not avoidant, I wouldn't be in that unhealthy relationship in the first place. I wouldn't be there in the first place, because a healed woman wouldn't give energy to situations that devalue her. A healed woman wouldn't give energy or even thought to relationships that don't reciprocate. A healed, confident woman doesn't waste her time on people or things that's going to drain her. When you're healed, those levels of issues and problems don't exist. And I'm not saying problems don't arise. I'm not saying that. There's always going to be challenges because a perfect man is a dead man, as I always say. Okay? A perfect man is a dead man. It doesn't exist. So there's always going to be opportunities to grow. And that comes in the form of challenges. So there's going to be challenges. It's just not going to be that low scale of a challenge. Low scale of a challenge of somebody mistreating you. Or low scale of a challenge of you overgiving because you're trying to make up for the part they're not giving. You're just not going to deal with that type of stuff anymore. It'll be different. It'll be like, hey, I see that you didn't like when I expressed myself in this way. I'll try my best to express myself more clearly next time. It's lighter. It's a lot lighter. It's not in the form of disrespect, disregard, inconsideration. Those aren't the types of issues you deal with when you are a healed woman, right? And so avoidance comes in many forms that can trick you to believe you're doing better and that you're confronting issues and that you're actually showing up and being present, right? You might be physically present. You might be busy. You might be fiddling your fingers doing something, but you're not dealing with the underlying problem. And my underlying problem was, especially in relation to men, right? And my underlying problem in relation to money. It was the same problem, okay? The same issue. It just showed and reared its ugly head in different ways. So I didn't have a money block or a love block. And that's why I'm coming forth to tell you, you don't have a money block or a love block. You just have an underlying issue, a trauma that you are avoiding. So my underlying issue, my daddy issues, right? That was blocking my money and my love. So I didn't have the love blocks and the money blocks. I had the trauma that I wasn't dealing with. So what is the trauma you are trying to avoid? What are you avoiding? Because that is the actual love and money block. It's not that for some reason money isn't flowing. For some reason I keep attracting the wrong type of men. It's not that. It's that you don't want to deal with the actual thing that's causing you to attract or to block or not see the opportunities that are before you. The opportunities are there. There are no money blocks. You don't have a money block. You don't have a love block. The opportunities are there. The love is there. The good people are there. The supporters are there. It's all there. I'm keep saying that. Like Jeezy said, it's all there. It's all there. What is preventing you from seeing it? What rose-colored glasses do you need to take off for you to see the opportunities? For you to see love is right before your eyes. For you to see the money, right? And I've been on both sides. I've been the blocker and I've been the blockee. Where the opportunity was right before me. But trauma kept me asleep and not wanting to face it. And I've been the donator of blessings and saw somebody block it right in front of my face. Like, no, that's not going to work out. Whole time I got a whole 10K I want to give you just like this because you're my friend. Just because I want you to win too. I like being around other successful people. Yeah, I'll invest in your business because you're my friend. Plain and simple, because I got it like that. When you have it like that, you're not pressed. It's not like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. You sure you're going to do that? I just broke my glasses. You sure you want to do that? It doesn't feel that way when you have it. It feels like nothing. It's like, okay, yeah, sure. You're my friend. I care about you. I want you to be successful too. So I'll give you some money towards your ventures. It's not a big deal. But the friend blocked it. They were like, no, that's not going to work. Girl, I've been in business for 5 years, more than you already. You think I don't know something? But I didn't tell her all of that. I just listened and allowed her to block her own blessings. Because you cannot convince someone when they aren't ready to see it. And there have been many times when I blocked my own blessings because I couldn't see it. I had the cloak of trauma over my eyes. Trauma will continuously block your blessings over and over again and create more issues on top of that. Okay? More issues on top of that. And I don't care. You could be a billionaire. But it's going to rear its ugly head in another way. It'll attack your health. Or you can be spiritually elevated, right? And it's attacking your finances. You just can't pull it together. Yeah, you could give the best readings. You can tap into your intuition like no other, but your money is blocked, or you're having skin issues, or you got a big gut. It shows in some way. The trauma shows in some way. So for somebody like me who looks put together, the trauma showed financially. Yeah, I hit the million another year and another year. But then I started to see financial loss. And it wasn't until I started to see that heavy financial loss that I started opening my eyes. Like, what the hell is going on here? Oh, okay, it's my trauma. Oh, also too, again, somebody like me who may look put together. But then I was also suffering in my romantic relationship. So I might look healthy, and I am healthy. I take care of myself physically. I exercise, I eat extremely well, right? So I'm going to continuously look good, right? But mentally, my negative defaults are going to show in my bank account and my relationship with the man that I was with. That's how it showed. So it shows in different ways. You might be good in one area, but it will rear its head in other areas. Some way or the other. The disease will spread in another way. So you might feel like you're good because an area of your life, it's thriving. You might think you're good and you seem normal and you look normal, right? But there's going to be an area in your life that's suffering because you are choosing to disregard the trauma. How to heal that trauma. You have to first identify where the trauma is coming from. Where's your trauma stemming from? Right? Let me tell you some things that are normal. What's normal is you being a human being, right? And you as a human being came from two parents, a mother and a father. That's normal. When your norm as a human is disrupted by single parenthood, that can cause trauma. So did you grow up with two healthy parents? Some people had two parents in the household, but one was still mentally absent and the other one was abusive. So just because you had two parents in the household doesn't mean that you're mentally healthy, right? So you have to decide what exactly. Where does your trauma lie? Where does your trauma lie? Where is it stemming from? And 9 times out of 10, it's stemming from some type of parental issue. No matter what, it's stemming from some type of parental issue. Something. A single mother, an absent father, or a single father, an absent mother, neglect, abuse, abandonment is stemming from something like that. Which one is yours? Go ahead, name it in the comment section. Is it abandonment? Is it abuse? Is it neglect? Which one? Which one is yours? Absence? Which one? 9 times out of 10, that's it. The abuse can be mental, it can be emotional, it can be verbal, it can be physical. Right? The absence, that's another form of abuse. They're not there to nurture a young child, to help to cultivate it into a functional human. That's what's normal, to have two healthy parents cultivating you into a healthy human. That's what's normal. Anything outside of that is abnormal. So you're going to have abnormal behavior. Absent father, all of the above. Damn, Angelique. Absent father, mother abandoned, father abused. Oh my gosh. all of the above. Jeez. I grew up with a single mom who has a lot of her own trauma, double whammy. I did, but both were not that present emotionally, exactly what I mentioned, where they're both there but still dysfunctional. Two unhealthy parents, see? Definitely in my income, okay? All right? What does it mean to have a money block? There is no money block. I'm so happy I caught this live. Thank you so much for being here. There's no money block is what I'm trying to tell you all. I'm trying to tell you, you don't have a money block. You don't have a money block. You don't have a love block. All right? I'm trying to tell you, you don't have either. This is my reason of coming on this live today, is to tell you, you don't have either. You don't have a money block. You don't have a love block. What you do is have avoidance of trauma. You have an issue with dealing with the problem, the underlying issue, the underlying challenge. And that's all there is. Okay? When I faced my problem, and listen, I started my healing journey since I was a teenager, okay? I cut off my perm, I started growing locks. Again, it may look like you're healing, right? You know, had on I stopped wearing the brand name clothes, right? The Ralph Lauren and Tommy Hilfiger, and who else was out at the time, right? Baby fat and stuff like that. And I started wearing African cloths and long clothes, and I became vegan, and all of that looked good. And yes, I did become more mentally healthier and more spiritually in tune. I did, right? I did become healthier. It does help. But like I said before, temporarily, because years later, I'm still making poor decisions in relationships. Years later, even after making my million, I'm still making poor decisions to not show up for my business because it feels too heavy. When you have that underlying scar, that issue, anything on top, it could be colorful sprinkles, will feel like salt. Okay? Anything on top will feel like salt. Can be confetti, colorful, sparkly, and it'll still feel like salt is being thrown on an open wound because it's not dealt with. But when that wound is healed, it's closed, okay? The skin is now normal again. And you throw something on top of it, you can deal with it again. You can deal with it. A normal problem no longer feels like an explosion. You ever seen somebody overreacting? Where you're like, damn, all I said was this. And they're like, why would you do that? Da, da, da. They're not overreacting because of you. It's not personal. They're overreacting because there are underlying issues they're not dealing with. So whatever you came with felt like salt, even if it was sprinkles. That's what an overreaction stems from. Unresolved traumas. You cannot heal where you were harmed. I'm not wearing this dress anymore because this is annoying. You can't heal where you're harmed. You can heal slowly, but avoidance causes a disruption in your flow, okay? So you don't have money blocks or love blocks. You are just moving out of survival mode. You're operating in constant survival mode. When you are practicing avoidance under the guise of social norms, and that's what's causing your slowdown. That's what's draining you. That's what's preventing you from seeing the opportunities. You're not broke. You aren't bad with attracting the right people. What you are is avoidant. You're avoiding the true issue. You're avoiding the problem that you actually should be healing from. I came across an older live of yours talking about how healing parental wounds opened up your energy to receive better and exist in a higher vibration. Love that message. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me tell you, I am an advocate for cutting off your unhealed, unhealthy parent. That may seem, it may seem harsh, but I'm an advocate for it. Okay? If your parent is causing you havoc, negative, unsupportive, and don't value you, I am an advocate for you removing yourself from that situation, because you cannot change that parent, right? You can teach an old dog new tricks, but if the old dog isn't willing to learn a new trick or two, then you have to remove yourself from the situation, because now you're spinning your wheels for no reason. Now your energy is being given in a place where it will not be reciprocated. I didn't think I had mother wounds because my mom really loved me and my siblings, and she did the best she can. But I did have mother living in survival mode wounds. Okay? So while my mother was, and you know, it gets really complex, it gets complicated. On the surface, I have a mother who loves me, who is comforting and nurturing and sweet, you know, over loving. But her love actually stemmed from survival. Her love stemmed from trauma. Her love stemmed from her not being loved as a child. It gets very deep, right? So again, on the surface, it's like, oh, I have a mother who loved me. I didn't deal with all the issues that I've heard other women deal with. You know, mothers being jealous of them, mothers being unsupportive, mothers being evil towards them. I didn't deal with that. I had a good mother. But my mother's love came from trauma. Her love wasn't necessarily clear and healthy, because her love came with a price ticket. Her love came with, hey, if I had these children, I reared them to love me, maybe I can receive the love I didn't receive as a child through my children. So now there's this unhealthy attachment situation happening, right? And so I had to deal with that. I had to deal with my mother's unhealthy way of loving. And yes, it may have been a little bit better than an abusive mother. It was, actually. It's better than an abusive mother, being loved by a mother who loves you unhealthily. It is better. But at the end of the day, you still have to deal with the reason why she was loving you. Where does that love stem from? Does it come from an empty cup, or does it come from the overflow? You got to know the difference. You have to be able to discern the difference. Just like how I was telling you earlier, to be able to discern the difference between the safeties of your brain and your body. Is what your brain trying to protect you from right now, is it actually keeping you safe from harm? Or is it keeping you safe from growth? Is what your body protecting you from right now, or making you feel good about, is it keeping you safe from harm? Or is it keeping you safe from your own health? You have to be able to discern the difference. It's complicated being human. It is. But you have to be able to discern the difference. And the only thing that gives you proper discernment is when you begin to heal. Because when you heal, you get clarity. Let me tell you what loves clarity. Healthy love loves clarity. Money loves clarity. When you don't know your worth and your mind is cloudy and you're making decisions just off of survival mode, you're going to get whatever is thrown your way. Because you're operating on such a low scale, you're going to accept whatever as well. You're going to accept whatever. You're going to accept it. Because you don't know your worth. You just helped me crack the code. Now I'm crying. Thank you. Oh, Jazz, Kaylin. Wow. What exactly cracked the code for you? Tell me. Same. I remember that when I started following you, love your transition. Thank you. Thank you. It's not able to cry anymore. Normal. Is it normal? No, it's your body protecting itself. Your body is protecting itself from hurt now. So you're becoming numb. So yeah, it is normal if you are hurt constantly over and over again and you're all cried out. That is normal to not be able to cry anymore, as your body's protecting it from more hurt. I used to cry daily two days ago. Or it can be either you're healed, you could be healed and over it. Who knows? When you're healed, you don't take mess anymore. And it may appear as if you're mean. You're not mean. You're just healed. And you don't give a damn about all the other mess anymore. That's why when people are mean, they get more respect. Because whether they love themselves or not, it appears as if they do. Because meanness seems like a form of boundaries and self-worth. Especially with men. When you're mean to them, or you're strict, as you're saying, they respect you more. You get better treatment. And those who don't, you can sniff them a mile away, and you don't even give energy to that type. You wouldn't even be subjected to a situation where you would have to deal with that type of a low level of a man. But the ones who are on your scale, and you may appear to be mean, but you're not. You just have strong boundaries, and you're going to be the girl to get the respect and the things. Self-worth, boundaries, being strict with yourself and about yourself and not playing about you is what makes people value you. You are a business. You know how they say marriage is a business? Well, your self-worth is a business. You've heard that before, right? Marriage is a business. Your self-worth is a business as well. That marriage between you and your healthy mind, you and your healthy body, it's a business. When it is not regulated, it's unhealthy. You're making uninformed, poor decisions. Staying in relationships, whether it is business or romantic, that no longer serve you and they drain you. What happens? It drains your body, it drains your mind, it drains your finances. Let me give you an example why. I had a friend. She was in a situation. The situation went sour with the man. She runs her own business. The girl was out of commission for like a freaking week. You cannot afford to do that as an entrepreneur. You can't afford to be dysfunctional as an entrepreneur. So you lose money when you avoid your traumas and your issues, because you end up subjecting yourselves to men, partnerships, and situations that will exploit you and then spit you out. And then you're left to deal with feeling depleted. And in your state of depletion, you don't have enough to give, to pour into your source of income. I thought I was direct because I addressed my issue with her head on. But really, she shouldn't be here at all. Okay. Now it's clicking to you. Now it's clocking to you.
You're not getting it. It's not clocking to you. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business.
Now it's clocking to you. Okay. There it is. When in fact, I shouldn't be in this relationship in the first place. I shouldn't be in this draining mess in the first place. A goddess like me, what am I doing here? So I dealt with the true issue, my father. What did I do? Even though I wasn't talking to him in the first place, we were in communication. I cut him off completely, mentally and emotionally. even though we weren't even talking. I hadn't spoken to him in a year or two. But I was still like, oh, that's my father. And, if we speak, whenever we speak, we'll talk, whatever. I completely cut him off, emotionally and mentally. So like Keke Palmer, if somebody calls me and says, hey, we'd like to identify so-and-so, this and that, I'd be like, I don't know this man. I don't know who this man is, but
sorry to this man.
That's me. Okay? I cut him off to that degree. And what did it do? Open up the floodgates, the flowers, the beauty, the peace, the autonomy of loving myself and knowing I'm worthy and that I'm invaluable independently by me. I didn't need him to come in to love me. I love myself autonomously. And when you get that type of autonomy, everything opens up for you. The opportunities open up for you. The better quality people open up for you. And you're able to see your old self in other people's traumas, whether it's friendships or romantic relationships or clients or customers. You see your old self in the way they show up. And so you know not to take it personal because you saw how your old self was in them. You know not to take it personal. You know that's just them in their mess. But you also know that you're not going to stick around and deal with it. You know you're not going to stick around and deal with it. Those boundaries get so strong. It's strict up in here. It's strict up in here because that self-love is strong. You no longer need somebody to give you love and validate you like that old broken child because you really, really love yourself now. And it doesn't look like pulling yourself together and looking good and smelling good and, showing up in toxic relationships and facing the problem head on. That's not what it looks like. It doesn't look like those distractions. It looks like, no, that drains me. It looks like, yes, it's reciprocal and we both can benefit. It looks like, no, I'm not afraid to lose you because I know I got myself and I got God. God got me and I got God. No's are no longer shaky. The no's used to be shaky. No felt like a threat of loss. You felt like that no would make them not like you or cause them not to stick around or cut off their lifeline of love to you because you needed whatever they were feeding you to validate your existence. But when you love yourself to this degree because you've healed, you no longer depend on other people's lifeline to feed you. You have your own lifeline stemming from the Most High, from the Creator, stemming from grounding with the earth, stemming from the air, stemming from being charged by the sun. You are charged up by greater things, not mere mortals, not by humans. You get it from the source. Avoidance can prevent you from attracting the love you deserve and the money that is open to you because you can't see it. You can't see it. You can't see love if you're not love. You can't see money energy if you're not abundant. You can't see it. You have to have the spectacles to see it. But if you have the cloak, the shades of trauma on, you can't wear the spectacles of abundance and love. You can't see it because you're not it. You're not it. You're not it because you're not being it right now. You're being trauma. You can be it. In essence, you are love. You are abundance. You're all the things. But whatever happened to you is preventing you, the traumas that happened to you is preventing you from being your essence of love and abundance. And that's why it's your birthright. But the trauma is tricking you into believing it's not. You're not a victim. And they didn't do anything wrong to you. Your mother didn't do anything wrong to you. I know this is confusing, but your mother didn't do anything wrong to you. Your father didn't do anything wrong to you. None of them did anything wrong to you. Your abuser, none of them. If you are a victor, if you are thinking with your powerful mind, if you are knowing that this happened for you and not to you, you're not a victim. When you get into your power, you realize you're not a victim. That's after you heal. After you heal, you don't point the finger at them anymore. The focus is no longer on them. It's on you. The focus is not about them. It's not about them anymore. It's about you. The focus turns back to you. You no longer lose your power by pointing the finger to them. You retain your power by pointing the finger at you. It's not about them. When you're a victim, it's about everybody else. When you're a powerful goddess, it's all about you. It's all about you. It's about you, what's going to uplift you, upgrade you, charge you up, increase you, make you better, healthier, stronger, smarter, more abundant, more radiant, more feminine, softer, sweeter, all the good things that makes us feel good as a woman. That's what it's about. And anything and anyone who and what supports it. That's what it's about. And anything and anyone who doesn't support it or shows up supporting it and then stops supporting it, what happens? They lose their spot. Plain and simple. That's how love gets. That's how business partnerships gets. No one's safe. You are safe as long as we're keeping each other safe. You are no longer safe when I feel like I'm being drained or you're not showing up the way I show up for you to. Nobody's safe. It's an ongoing partnership. It's not a partnership based on a title. You could be best friend today and stranger tomorrow. The title feels safe because you're supposed to be this way because we're best friends. We're supposed to show up for each other. We're supposed to because of the title, right? But if you, time after time, and you only getting about a couple of times, okay, are showing to me that I'm not as valuable to you as you are to me, what title? Best friend today, stranger tomorrow. Right? Husband today, stranger tomorrow. All of that. That's why it's an ongoing work. It's ongoing work in relationships. You have to constantly evolve, constantly pour into each other, constantly show up, constantly connect. Because when that stops happening, the imbalance happens. And not saying that there's always an imbalance, but as long as you all are ebbing and flowing, it feels like a sort of a balance. It's a personal, cultural balance from that relationship. But when that cultural balance, and when I say cultural balance, I mean a signature to that relationship. When that cultural balance slows down because somebody isn't playing their part in the dance that you're doing, then somebody else begins to feel drained. And when you get drained in any relationship, you become resentful. You're pouring into a situation that's no longer pouring into you. So nobody's safe. when you love yourself. I stick with a man 12 years, all my 20s down the drain. He messed me up mentally and physically, and he was also heavy on heavy drugs. At the end, he was driving me crazy, and I stayed so long. Yep, this right here hits home for me because I actually have a daughter who I don't like who she's with. And you would think, right? Woman who teaches self-empowerment, that everything would be perfect at home with her children. But my same daughters who are with this extremely confident woman today were also with me when I was unhealthy as well, when they were younger. So my low self-esteem issues when they were younger, just because I'm healed now doesn't mean that they're going to heal in the same timeline as me. Remember, I've told y'all before that I was not always a good mother, and that doesn't go to say that I was abusive or anything like that. It's just that I wasn't that present. Again, I was in my trauma, you know? Having them, you know, in my late teens and stuff, I was in my trauma. So I wasn't that present. The things that I may have projected upon them or they've seen or experienced with me doesn't mean that they've healed from it just because I'm healed from it. But to hear you say you wasted 12 years, I'm like, Lord, it could be my child, but I pray that it's not. But it's, you know, who knows? All I can do is continue to speak life into her at this point of my journey. We're going to close off and out with our meditation and say bye-bye to this dress, because it's the last time you're ever going to see it, because it gave me so many issues during this live. I was just trying to be cute, all right? Let's get into our libations, our stretch and meditation. I'm going to pour these libations. So we're so grateful, so thankful, so blessed to be alive today. Ashe, ashe. I'm going to pour it into this plant. You can respond by saying yes, yao, amen, amin, say la, hallelujah, ashe, facts, true, to whatever you choose, as long as you're here to raise your vibrations. We're so grateful and thankful that we were chosen to wake up today, to be alive, to live in our purpose, our passions. Ashe. Break us free from any trauma bondages within our souls, within our minds, within our spirits, our bodies. Ashe. Allow us to detox it out of our bodies so we can release it. Detox it out of our minds. Ashe. And our vaginas. Yes, from those old past relationships and trauma bonds. Ashe. We're so grateful, God, that we are shining truths and stars, living in our authenticity, boldly, unapologetically. Ashe, ashe. We know who we are. We have our identity. We know that we are walking in the steps and the footprints of the Most High. Ashe, because we are divine. Yes. Guide our tongues, guide our thoughts, guide our bodies. Ashe, ashe, as we walk through this life, inspiring, motivating, and charging up the world with our existence. So call out the names of your divine ancestors, Abasuns and Tarus, Orishas, spirit guides, angels, anybody who may have passed away in your bloodline. Call them out to acknowledge those who paved the way in your past. Ashe. Pouring it in this plant. Ashe, who are you calling out? Who are you calling out? So we give thanks and praise for all the ancestors, known and unknown, spoken and unspoken. Ashe, ashe, ashe. We give thanks for love. Ashe. All right, taking a deep breath, head back, and exhale. Inhale, rolling your shoulders back. Bessie Baker, ashe. Exhale, rolling your shoulders forward. Inhale, rolling your shoulders back. And looking to your left, exhale, extra spinal twist. Oh no, my plant. What's happening? Sorry guys. Inhale, exhale, looking to your right, extra spinal twist. Inhale, exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Do this stretch, guys, it helps. Inhale, exhale, right ear to right shoulder. Inhale, exhale, forward. I know, guys, the way I talk, you would think I don't have a man. But I do. I have an amazing man in my life. Inhale, exhale, but nobody's safe. And rolling left to right again. Inhale, exhale down, rolling right to left again. And I would hope that I'm not safe in his eyes either. If I was to show up draining him, taking him for granted, and mistreating him, right? Okay, but I know that I'm going to continue to show up in my optimal self. Taking a deep breath in as we go into this meditation. Eyes are closed. Taking your first breath of life, inhaling and exhale. Another deep breath, inhale. Holding it. And with this deep breath, I want you to hold it. And I want you to gather any trauma that you think is your number one trauma. Gather it. See it. What is it? Is it abuse? Is it absence? Is it abandonment? What is it? And with all your might, I want you to exhale it out until you're empty. Keep blowing until you're empty. Till your stomach's sucked in. Now hold it empty. And before you take your next breath, I want you to think about what you want to pour back into yourself. What is the first thing that came to mind? And inhale. Very good. Now hold it there. And whatever you just poured back into yourself, be it confidence, be it love, be it light, be it boundaries, fill it up. Fill your body up from your toes to your hair follicles. Fill it all the way up with that substance. And exhale, spreading it all around your aura. And inhale. Now you're inhaling it back in because it's in your aura. And you're doubling it up inside of you. The confidence, the love, the abundance, the wealth, the health, the self-worth, the self-esteem. Holding it and exhale. And inhale, because we're entering a new era of life. And the new era begins today. The new era begins with letting go. Ha ha ha. Letting go of him, her, whoever tried to hurt you. When in fact they only fueled you with strength, wisdom, thicker skin, brilliance, a brighter light. How do you know? Because you're not in the dirt. You're living. That's how I know. So act like it. Exhale. Inhale. You're more than a survivor. You're a goddess. You're living. You're a beamer. You're a star. Exhale. Inhale. You know your worth. Your boundaries are strong. You don't settle. Your no's are a full sentence. And your yes come with reciprocity. And inhale. Your identity and sense of self and self-awareness is keen. You don't need anyone else's lifeline. You have a direct lifeline sourced by the Creator. You don't need anyone else's validation, anyone else's second opinion. You don't need them to convince you. You already know who you are. And you are full. Your cup is full. So you give from the overflow. Inhale. Nothing was done to you. It happened for you. And that's why you're so powerful. That's why you're stronger. That's why you can see clearly now. Inhale. You are loved by you because you know you were chosen. How do you know? You're living. So every day you wake up, your eyes open. You're breathing life into your lungs. You know you were chosen. You were chosen to live another day. You were chosen to be given another chance. You were chosen to be great. Not avoidant. Not trauma bonding. Not a victim. Greatness. Inhale. As we go into our fire breaths. 100 fire breaths. Revving up the energy and the fire that you know who you are. You're no longer avoiding. You're no longer running. And you're no longer tricking yourself to believe the distractions. Are you dealing with it? You're dealing with the actual underlying issue. Healing yourself, feeling whole. As we go into these fire breaths, through your nose, swiftly, and fire breaths. $60. 100. Inhaling deep. Hands up. And exhale. Repeating after me. I'm so grateful and thankful. I am aware of what's been blocking my abundance in my life. I'm aware and I'm no longer running from it. I am facing it head on, not with distractions, but with truth and honesty and authenticity. And I'm so grateful to be in my power era, because I know who I am. A divine goddess, connected to the all-in-all source of all things. That's who I am. And I'm so grateful for this position, this blessed position in life. Ashe. As we go into our mantra, known to raise a low vibration to a high vibration, the change in an unwanted situation to a desired one. Say it with me. I am so grateful and excited. I am divinely connected to universal intelligence, love, and abundance. Everything I want to need overflows through me and to me with ease expeditiously. One more time. I am so grateful and excited. I am divinely connected to universal intelligence, love, and abundance. Anything I want to need overflows through me and to me with ease, expeditiously. Ashe. Because you're a god, a goddess, a king, a queen, an emperor, and empress. There's nothing you are not. Anything you want to need wants to need you more. Act like it, walk like it, talk like it, smell like it, show up like it. You are her. Ashe, ashe, amen. Hallelujah. Give thanks. Can I get an ashe? Thank you for showing up today, guys. Love you very much. With my feminine care products, I've been in existence for the past 10 years. We just celebrated 10 years this month. So I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. All natural feminine care. No toxins, no dioxins, no mess under the microscope. Okay? No hidden chemicals, no forever chemicals, none of that. That's what I believe in, health. All right? And I believe that, and I know that in order for this world to heal and be healthy, women must heal and be healthy, because essentially we are the ones who create the temperature of this world. Love y'all. Bye.